I think now we'll open the house to questions. Yes, we can start here first.
My name is Jan Riemann. A very interesting session, very interesting presentations. I find the title of the session, The Last Mile, somewhat unduly optimistic. Is it the first mile or is it the last mile? And that has to do with what was expressed this morning. There is no political will to implement a basic income scheme. We've heard that from a member of parliament. I think that's an important statement. And I think all of us can endorse that if we look around what's happening in the country. Basically, it has to do with the political economy, how the interests, how the stakes are divided. And what I see is a lack of the presentation of the interests of the poor in the parliament, in the national level. And the outcome of the last elections in UP make that point, apart from the communal-driven agenda, which led to the outcome as we have seen it. We also find that 2/3 of the members of parliament in UP are Corpatis. And 2/3 of the members of parliament in UP also have a criminal record. That says a lot of what is at stake in the political arena. And in that context, I find the expression of leakage, which has been mentioned time and again in this morning's session, a very important one. Leakage, we have to deconstruct. What do we mean by it? Do we mean by it that it does not reach the beneficiaries? But why should that not be in line with the overall political and policy agenda, which is not interested in alleviation of poverty? Why should we expect that when 120 welfare schemes fail, why should we expect that the basic income scheme will do the trick, will restore the poor to a life of dignity? And here I find the outcome of the pilot very important. The pilot which was done in Madhya Pradesh, where Renana reported on that yesterday. After 4 years, we see increasing poverty of the last. And to the last was what Renana said, is the challenge of the basic income. If you don't reach the last, what does it mean? And what Renana found, and that was, I think, very important, is that there is an increasing immiserization. What seems to be assumed in the discussion so far is that reaching out of the poor is happening in a level playing field. But the playing field is not leveled. Not only in the national sense in parliament, but also at the local level. There is the domination-subordination nexus. And that explains a lot why the beneficiaries do not benefit. If that is not going to change, also this basic income initiative, which I find fantastic as a proposal, is bound to fail in the same manner as 120 welfare schemes so far have failed in the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your observations. I think all I like to say is let's be more focused on questions, which is sharp and concise. And the second is, like I started off the session by saying, this group is not debating whether or not the UBI should be there or not. What we are talking about is that there is a broken, I think, last mile, and if any of this has to work, assuming that there is all sorts of political will and the cash available, how would it work at the last mile? Let's see it reach. I think that was more the focus for our group. So I will not be able to answer, or our guys will not be able to answer other political questions on which you raised. Sorry. Yes, Renata.
I have have a question for Karthik. And my question is in the context that these changes, which if we are talking about change of a system, say to basic income, then we really have to keep the most vulnerable in mind. And so big disruptions, what Sita said, big disruptions really affect the most vulnerable. So the question is this, that Karthik, as you know, we were involved in the first round, the quantitative study for, our part was qualitative for the Chandigarh study. And what we found, and what Sita pointed out, is that 25,000 people, maybe more, had dropped out of the system because they could not apply or did not apply or something. And your data collection is really for the figures that the government is giving you for those people in the system. So I was wondering if the next rounds did include those 25,000 who have dropped out, A, and B, who are those 25,000 who have dropped out? Because often they are presented at, well, we got rid of fraud, but what we saw was they were the most vulnerable who could not get to the system.
Thanks. Yes, sir.
Very interesting presentations. I just have I feel that the pilot studies, there are 3 areas which probably require further research. I feel very inadequate household decision-making level work.
Mm-hmm.
So what I try to say is where the last mile stops, where is the point? Is it the household or is it an individual? Because many of these cash transfers, if they have to be brought into this scheme, it's like maternity benefit or old age, widow pensions. There is a cash kind of flow, which all of them can be brought into this. And then now at the moment, at least in the pilot, it goes to an individual. An individual has a bank account and an individual gets control over it. It's a woman who gets a part of it. It's a child is represented by either a woman or a man. And then man gets his own share. So there is a lot of confusion about the household budget making. This is going to change the way we have lived for centuries in India, where the man is the earning member, farming is the source, or wage work is the source, and there is a pooling of resource, and then within the household there is a distribution. And I think this particular scheme is going to disturb that particular harmony, so to speak, at the moment in whatever manner it is present, but we don't know how it is going to take shape again. For example, if there is a maternity benefit amount of money that has to go to a woman who is pregnant, well, this system addresses that issue. What about child immunization, where the money is needed to immunize? The last point is rural-urban difference is very important. Now, poverty seems to be concentrated in rural-urban peripheries, so we need urban social structure and dynamics is very different, and we need a different pilot. And compare that to the urban pilot. The last is, Andhra Pradesh was given an example. I have done extensive field work in Andhra Pradesh last 15 years. What we saw is the result of a Narega and the self-help group
Pension.
is the first thing we notice is a theka. The thekas were not there 10 years before, and now you have big boards, and then next to theka is a chicken shop. These were not there before, 10 years before they are not there. So obviously there is a different kind of private market is developing there. And one I'm worried is Fair and Lovely's are being sold now. So how will this cash will be used to what kind of household welfare or what kind of child welfare? This needs extraordinary research.
Thank you so much. Thanks. I'm gonna close this house because I think our group is standing in between you guys and lunch. So, you have a session again to go. I'm so sorry. So you still have to do a wrap up before you go for lunch. So, thanks so much, Sanchita. and Sita and Karthik.
If I can, okay, I'll
You do it over lunch. Yeah.
well, but I think Ranana had this really important exclusionary question. But
So we'll address that over lunch. Over the next session. Thanks so much, Krishnan. Thank you.